Hello and welcome to your weekend podcast here on Four Lads Had a Dream. My name's Andrew. I'm joined tonight by three of my very favourite co-hosts, Davie, Kenny and Sheryl. We've got lots to talk about. Obviously a fairly significant game this weekend. It's always significant, even if it's not going to count much points-wise. But there's no such thing as a small old firm game. So I'm going to dig into that and have a little chat about what that could all mean. But before we get started and before I start, talking to my lovely guests, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed, everyone who's a member of the channel. We have just hit, as of right now, 100 members on the channel, which is fantastic. That's 100 people supporting us in various different levels, giving money to us to help us do more and exciting things, like the documentary that I did with Davie, along with Stevie. We've got more of those planned for the future, and so you guys supporting us, the names you see scrolling along the bottom of the screen, these are the people who are helping us to grow the podcast and helping us to do more and exciting things, more live pods, as you can see tonight, and more documentaries and other behind the scenes bits, some interviews with ex-players and other ranges of people of interest, which I think will be interesting when they come around. Stevie certainly got a few let's say people that will spark conversations, So let's set that all aside for now. Thank you again. If you want to become a member, there's just a little join button, but it's not mandatory. We're never going to hide stuff away from you guys. Everything, the main pod is always going to be free, and we're never going to lock that away. So thank everyone who's even subscribed to the pod. It's helped us tremendously. So again, I'm going to say at the end, but still immensely grateful for everyone who's doing that. So let's dig into all the fun stuff. Sheryl, I'm going to start with you. We obviously have the Old Firm this weekend. As I said at the start, no such thing as a small one, but unfortunately, despite the fact that we might end up with 9 points against the team the other side of the city, we still are going to find ourselves about 14 points behind. And that's assuming that we can keep pace with the last 3 games after this one for the rest of the season. So, I mean, just your general thoughts on the Old Firm game, I guess. How do you see it going, and is there much to learn from this one?
Do you know what? It always matters, doesn't it? It always matters, even when it doesn't matter. So it definitely matters to us. We go in, I think it's a kind of like microcosm of the season, isn't it? Barry Ferguson asked for a response in these last 5 games. We've seen last week that he absolutely didn't get that. It wasn't a huge shock to any of us. And nor would it be a shock to me if on Sunday we actually played out our skin and we played really, really well and everybody did what they were asked to do, because they clearly didn't do that last Saturday in Paisley. It just sums up where we're at. We seem to be able to raise ourselves for these bigger games. They don't have a problem getting themselves up for playing against Celtic, for playing in Europe. It's just... Maybe I don't even think it gives us something to build on, because we spoke last week about, the idea of players playing for their futures. I said it last week, I'll say it again. I hope a lot of them aren't here. My hope is a lot of them don't have futures here. We've seen that when they're asked to follow instructions, they don't do it. So bragging rights, tiny, minuscule bragging rights, I think that's maybe all that we can get. But it's all, listen, at the end of the day, it's always fantastic to beat them. So I think that's maybe about all we can get out of Andrew.
No, for sure. Before I come to you, Davie, and get your thoughts, I can see that some folk have discovered that we have some new stickers. Stevie finally decided to learn, which I'm very proud of him for. I did have to go and correct them afterwards because he didn't make them transparent, so they just showed up as big squares. But nonetheless, he tried. And I can only thank him for that. So there's stickers of me, there's stickers of Calvin, there's stickers of young Andrew in there as well. And there's some more ones for Kenny as well, because, you have to make that happen. But if you want to start using those, you can become a member and you can get my lovely face up there as you want. A little Andy shirt as well. Look at him. It's adorable. So why wouldn't you want to have some of that? Highly recommend you sign up for it. If for nothing else, helps us. Always great, obviously, but you get to use the stickers, and that's where the fun is. Davie, as we've said, no such thing as a insignificant Old Firm game. given that we have seen a lack of commitment, let's say, in some of the smaller games, you would like to hope that we would get more of a performance in this one. Barry talked about this in his interview after the last game, that he's telling the players to do stuff and they're simply not doing it. So on the one hand, it'd be really nice to see a good performance, but equally, you would feel let down if, again, these players decide to turn up for a game that matters to them rather than turning up for every game.
Yeah, I think I'm on record as saying that the games after the split are all about building for next season and looking forward and only playing players that are going to be there next year. Well, that goes out the window on Sunday, basically, because the only thing that matters on Sunday is beating them. And I know plenty of fans that have called it meaningless, and I've said that they're not looking forward to it and stuff like that. Just wait till they run out the tunnel. Just wait till we see that lot run onto the pitch again, and wait till we see they've got away fans again back, considering they're going to be taking the mickey a bit before the game starts. So I think there's quite a few reasons why we'll be well and truly fired up by the time the game starts. Like everyone else, I've got no idea what Rangers are going to turn up. Barry's not actually won a game at Ibrox yet. I mean, if I just put it to one side, if you're going to win your first game at Ibrox, you might as well make it a game like this now. There's all kinds of records that are kicking about. He could be the first Rangers manager in history to win his first 2 league games against Celtic, for example, because no Rangers manager ever has done that. How utterly bonkers would that be if Barry Ferguson ends up being up there in managerial statistics for Rangers? But the bottom line, the whole thing is it's Rangers and Celtic, it's Ibrox, it's a capacity crowd, it's live on the telly. The juices are going to be flowing, and there'll be nothing like it if we beat them, because there never is anything like it if we beat them.
That's absolutely correct. Like you say, this team have set all manner of records this season, both good and bad. And I mean, you say it'd be unbelievable if that happened. I think that would be par for the form of this team, quite frankly. Kenny, I'm going to come to you, and then I want to get some of the comments up, because I know you've been flashing them up during the screen, including a very insulting one towards me. But yeah, your thoughts on the Old Firm game. As we've said, it's this team. We're not going to learn anything new about them, I don't think. But at the same time, it's an Old Firm. We want to win. Yeah,
it's about bragging rights, isn't it? Nothing more, nothing less, really. I would look at it on Sunday and just try and lay down a marker for next season. If anything, it doesn't really mean much, as we know, but these games always matter. We want to make sure that it's a nice statistic to have, but having won the last 3 in a row, it's something to build on for next season, I suppose, in regard to this particular fixture, not anything else. But for me, it's just one of these games that it doesn't really matter what has happened in the league. It's the game. The game's a one-off. It is what it is, and come Sunday, we'll all be right up for it, mate. And listen, we might come to later on, but I'd just quite like to ram some of their comments down their throats on Sunday, to be honest, because I'm kind of sick and tired of their arrogance. And yeah, they're the best team in the country. We know that, but wind your necks in a little bit. It's just been a wee bit cheesy and nasty for me, and I can't really be bothered with it. So yeah, battle fever on Sunday, and give them something to think about. But as I say, in the grand scheme of things, it's been a disappointing season, Andrew. But for me, it's just, let's just make sure and get the bragging rights and enjoy Sunday, please.
It's hoping, right? Just a quick one-word answer, Kenny. Guard of honour, yes or no?
Begins with F and O. It's a 2-word. Not a chance, mate. No chance.
That's fair. I kind of expected that one, but yeah, always good to confirm it. So, some of the comments that have come in so far from William Smith: we haven't won at Ibrox since February and only scored 1 goal in the last 6 games. It's disgraceful. Quite agree. This would be the chance for Barry to win his first game at Ibrox, which is in itself ridiculous. But you can only hope that does happen. And Bluebells are Blue, I think, has got the most important comment here, which is that it will be usual come Sunday late afternoon. The team that loses will say it doesn't matter. And that's absolutely right. For us, I mean, we've already beaten them twice this season. This is bringing them to par. For them, they've already won the league, so obviously they don't care about it. It's not important to them. That's what they'll be saying if they lose. And most importantly, from Jimbo, where work shy Stevie? He's just showing a lack of commitment again. It's shocking to see. Just zero effort from him. I'm very upset by it. But what can we do, right? But yeah, Sheryl, this is ultimately, I think, about bragging rights, as William Lang says. There's nothing on the line for this one. It's purely about getting the result. We've got two bits of conflicting things here. We've been crap at home all year of this calendar year, but also we turn up in the big games while failing continuously to turn up in the like, let's say, smaller games. Which one of these two is going to win?
It's really difficult. It's difficult to call, isn't it? Because you kind of think this attitude of being able to play really well against in the bigger games has to come to an end at some point, but it hasn't thus far. I don't know. I just think that they do raise their game, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if they go out and they're up for it in a game. You know, it's again, it sums up the season. It sums up a completely bizarre season where we haven't struggled really, other than the first game, which was horrific, to beat them. We really haven't. We've played some of the best football of the season against them. The second half in that last Old Firm game, we rode our luck a wee bit, but the first half we were excellent. January we were excellent as well. So I have no doubt they will come. It doesn't matter. The pressure's off them. Maybe perhaps that's the way to look at it. The pressure's off them. They can come out and put in a decent performance, and I think they probably will.
Yeah, completely fair. Davie, for you, I mean, what we're probably looking at is what kind of team we're looking to start here. Do you stick with the same guys who have let us down? Do you change it up and go for some of the players who potentially aren't as good, but also haven't been that group of players who have been playing and continuously letting us down in the rest of the league games?
I think there's two different questions in there. There's what would I do, but what do we know that Barry's going to do? Because I think the team is actually quite predictable this weekend. If he's going to play three at the back at St Mirren and three at the back at Dundee and three at the back everywhere, he's going to play three centre halves on Sunday. It worked at Parkhead. The last time it did work, but it worked at Parkhead. So I'll be amazed if he doesn't play three centre halves. Tavernier and Jeffter are the only two fit fullbacks we've got. So there's your back five. I think Barry said in his press conference today, Balogun's training in a mask and he's available to play tomorrow. So that sounds like a risk worth taking because he's probably our best defensive defender. So him, Suter and one other will play at the back, whether it's Proper or Nsiala. I personally play Nsiala, but I'm not 100% sure which one Barry will go for. If he's going to play five at the back, he's going to play three in the midfield and two up front, like he did at Parkhead. Raskin and Diamandi are certainties, so it's just a case of who's playing beside them. There's an argument to give young Rice a game like this and one that doesn't mean as much, if you know what I mean, doesn't mean as much. But I suspect it will be the three he played at Parkhead. I think Connor Barron will play. Although I would play Rice. And I think Czerny is a certainty to play off the front, which leaves who's the centre forward. I've already seen there's comments about Iggerman playing. It's Barry Ferguson that's picking the team. Cyril Dessers is playing. So we can debate it all we like, but I think that's the likely team and the likely formation. We just need to hope that Barry's got it right.
Yeah, Kenny, as Davie says, it is a case of we probably know what Barry's going to do. But for you, I mean, is it a change in formation? Is it different personnel? But yeah, what do we think Barry's going to do?
Well, I'm a little bit uncomfortable with playing three at the back at Ibrox against them, but he probably will. But Davie is right. The one kind of decision he's got to make I think he'll start with Liam Kelly. I don't think there's any doubt in that. I think the decision is at the left centre-half position if he plays with 3 at the back. He might go with Proper purely for experience, because I get the feeling he's kind of that guy. Whereas I would be the same as Davie and Sheryl there. I would start with Nsiala. I think he will start Bailey Rice. I think he's decided that's over the last couple of weeks he started to put him in. I think he'll start him instead of Conor Barron. And Davie again is absolutely bang on. When it comes to Sheryl Dessers, he's playing on Sunday, and Cherny will be behind him. Personally, I would like to see Egerman start. I've been saying this since almost the moment he came into the team. He's just by far and away the best. When I say the best striker, I think the most productive striker in terms of his all-round game that we have. I know Sheryl scored plenty of goals, and I'm not going to sit here and criticise him because he is always fit and he's always available. But just personally, for me, I just feel that Egerman's a better player. But I don't think you can get any surprises in a game like this. And Barry kind of hinted at it on this afternoon in his press conference when he said that didn't care how we performed. He only wants the 3 points. He just wants a result. He wants to win. So in that sense, I think he will definitely just keep it as tight as he can at the back and go and have a go at them as best they can. But we know the failings of this squad and this team, and if they don't turn up, they could have an issue. And let's hope that's not the case, because our record at Ibrox over this calendar year has been, I know we haven't won since February, but it's been absolutely shocking. And it's not just the results, Andrew, David and Sheryl, it's been the performances. They have been so poor that you have no idea where they've came from, these performances, because up until the point where we lost the game, we had been absolutely, I'm just not saying we were brilliant performance-wise, but we were getting results all the time at Ibrox. And yeah, as I say, personally, I just feel that Davie's absolutely right there. There's not an awful lot he's going to change in this. He's had the opportunity over the last couple of weeks, hasn't he, to really go and mix it up a bit and try and give younger lads or guys on the periphery a bit of a chance. Boys like Danilo and stuff like that, or Cortez, and he clearly doesn't fancy these guys. I don't know, is Hadji fit? I think he is, isn't he? That could be a curveball, perhaps, that he might bring Hadji in. But other than that, Andrew, I don't see many surprises at all. Don't know about you guys, but I don't see it.
No, I'm really inclined to agree with you guys. It is Barry. We've seen already, in spite of the fact that it's only been a short time that he's been here, he does have his favourites. He does have guys that he'll hold on to, regardless. Sheryl, I think it's worth touching on Egerman. We had comments from Isabelle Chirai, our assistant manager, discussing Hamza, just about how he was settling in and how they, he hoped he would have a good pre-season next season as well, which is a thing to bear in mind. He's not had that. Some of the players like Yefte. So, do you think he's one of the few that we should be looking to build next year's squad around, next season's squad around?
Do you know what? Absolutely, Andrew. What I would do is I think we'll get another year out of him, and I would keep him for another year to get him up to speed. We spoke about it before we came on, a proper pre-season, because I seem to remember kind of towards the September, October time last season, we weren't doing very well. We heard about him all the time. And I think, was it against Celtic that he made his debut, that horrific game in September? But I think in the short time that he came on, he maybe came on about 82 minutes. He showed a lot more than I think Dessers had done that entire match. And he looked like he wasn't scared to get at them. I think if we want to press them, it's him that we need to go with up front. I think he'll cause far more problems for their defence. I know we won't see him. Don't get me wrong that, Davie and Kenny have already touched on it. There's not a chance that we'll see him start, I wouldn't think, on Sunday. But yeah, I would give him another year. The comments that Shirai made about him we're just, we need to get him tactically up to speed. I would like to see him, fingers crossed, with a couple of better players around him as well, just to bring him on a wee bit more. But I think if we give him a proper pre-season, get him up to speed, a wee bit more game time, I would start him. I would like to see him next season as our number 9 and build around him, because I think he's so strong. He's got a lot to offer. He gives defences an awful lot of problems. So ideally for me next season, he would be our starter, absolutely. And then sell him for a massive profit after he's scored. We'll not take it too far, but after he's scored our Europa League, we'll not go for Champions League at the moment, but after he scored the winner in the Europa League final, then we wish him all the best and make millions and millions of profits.
It sounds great. Absolutely subscribe to that. That sounds wonderful. Yeah, Davie, we've talked about the game. We know where we're at. We win, it'll be nice, but ultimately kind of meaningless in the grand scheme of things. But what isn't meaningless in the grand scheme of things, the 49ers entourage were here this week. I think at the same time as another podcast was saying they weren't ever going to show up, which is good. Obviously, we wouldn't do that kind of poor journalism on this podcast. We're professionals, you see. So we know that this takeover is absolutely happening now. It's coming down the line. The fact that the guys are going to be at the game this weekend, I mean, that you would hope that would be a good thing if we pull out a result here. You'd like to hope that wouldn't be enough to scupper the deal. Some of these guys have been, watching us against St Mirren. So if that didn't scupper it, then I would hope that this wouldn't.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's happening, and it's actually quite amusing that some people still seem to be in some kind of denial about it. I don't know what drives their thinking, and that every available bit of evidence tells you that this is 95% down the road, and the other 5%'s more or less already sorted, and yet there's still some obsessed people who, for reasons only I don't understand, that are telling themselves, "Oh no, it's all going to fall apart." It's not. It's happening. So get used to it. Yeah, this will be their first Rangers Celtic game. They've been to big European games, so they will have seen Ibrox. They've heard it noisy. They've seen some of the atmosphere, but I think it's fair to say that if we score first on Sunday, I don't think they'll have seen anything quite like that yet. And I think I alluded to the last time I was on that if I was advising Andrew Kavanagh and co, I would have got them to watch the celebrations from Tannadice last week, because I want them to start hating Celtic, which I think is a prerequisite of being successful at Rangers. And it's ideal that there's going to be Celtic fans there on Sunday, I think, because I think when it comes to building a nice, healthy disrespect for them, then there's nothing that builds that better than them actually being there, because they will undoubtedly behave the way Celtic fans do, and a sophisticated American businessman is not going to be too impressed with that, I wouldn't imagine. So I think it's a good thing that they're there, and I think it's a good thing that the consortium are going to see them there. And I think it's just the start of this road we're going to go on, which hopefully is going to end with a Champions League final winner, because I've got more ambition than Sheryl's got.
We got a plan. I'm sure. It's a few years that they're going to go into this, so we'll do both. One year, and then we'll do the other one the next year. Like I can't say fairer than that. I think that's entirely reasonable. Kenny, we're going into this. Obviously, I think this game takes care of itself. Realistically, looking forwards, I mean, we've seen some of the guys in the comments saying that, frankly, the best thing about this is it's 90 minutes closer towards some of these guys never playing for us again. And I find it hard to disagree with that, given what we've seen out of this squad so often. Do you think this is a route back for anyone in this game, or is this bridges have already been burned at this point?
No, I don't think any bridges have been burnt, to be honest with you. I think that whoever the new manager is going to be, along with the new sporting director, are going to have a look at this squad. It doesn't make any difference how poor they've been this season, Andrew. Come the first day of pre-season, they're all pretty much going to be back there, because pre-season is going to be early, and whoever the new manager might well be, they will have been watching Rangers for a while, if it's in the pipeline. So they'll have a fair idea who they want and who they don't want, but they'll still want to see them in the flesh. Farewell, I think, going by the comments from the manager today, and some of the stuff that I've heard, actually, that he just seems a massive professional, a very, very professional guy that's going to tread on toes if he has to, but not necessarily do that if he doesn't need to. And there is probably, if you're being realistic and being honest about it, say there's a squad of 30 players, there are about 30 players, there's at least half of them I think are going to go. But if you're being realistic and in financial terms, you're going to have to wheel and deal. You're going to have to kind of determine which players that you're going to have to keep, because you can't have a turnover of 30 players, Andrew. It's just not really feasible. Although it might, to everybody here on the panel here and everybody listening and watching, it might well be that we won't pretty much what we want to see, bar a few players. It is one of those things that I found it interesting. I'll put this to you, right, that whether there's a manager in the pipeline or not, we don't quite know. But very interesting that a couple of weeks ago, John Souttar said that his contract talks had just been put in the back burner. And then a week later, they're saying that they're talking to Bailey Rice's representatives, which suggests that somebody's dealing with certain things right away. Somebody's dealing with stuff. And whoever it is, whether it's Thelwell or a new manager that's coming in, is obviously taking a look at Bailey Rice and went, get him tied down. Whereas they perhaps know that John Souttar is quite happy to stay, and it's just a case of tweaking the finances a little bit, and they can say, right, we can keep that till later. But interesting that came out a couple of weeks ago about Bailey Rice. I thought, well, there's a sign that things are going on in the background, Andrew. So to stop being so long-winded, I think that what is probably happening here is that they're already making their mind up, but they'll still have a look at players, Andrew. That's what I would think.
Yeah, I think it's been clear that there's, obviously with the takeover not being complete yet, there's not going to be any official discussions between the prospective buyers and the existing board. But realistically, I think you have to say that certain decisions that are being made right now, the new sporting director, refurbishments of the training ground as well, all these things are happening, and it's not going to be without the knowledge of the guys coming in to do the takeover, Kavanagh, etc. That's going to be done with their say-so and their involvement. So it's clear that this is an ongoing conversation, and we're just counting down until it's formalised and they officially take charge. Sheryl, I'm going to come to you for the last word. But before I do, we have gifted 5 sub memberships or gift memberships to everyone in the chat, which was snapped up immediately. So thank you, guys. I'm about to send in 5 more. So everyone, get ready, get your fingers ready to click, because they are about to shoot into the chat now, just like that. Grab. So yeah, we can't thank everyone out there enough for all the support they've given us. The memberships, as I said, we hit 100 today. We continue to be blown away by the level of support that we've been getting from folk. So can't thank you enough. And your support keeps us going. The memberships keep us going even more. Let's do even more exciting things. And you get to use stickers as well. I mean, come on, what's more important than that? You get to use that. You can even have one of Calvin. Look at that. You can have a little Calvin there. Or do you have a very little Stevie? Come on. Where's the come on. You got to get involved with that. Anyway, Sheryl, I'm going to come to you last. We're sitting in front of the game that means nothing, but it means everything. And regardless of how you felt the season has gone, it is always good to get a result over them.
Of course,
the attitude the players have to bring in, right?
Yeah, Absolutely. And do you know what? Like I say, bizarrely enough, that there probably won't be a problem with that on Sunday. I really don't think that there will be a problem with them getting up for it. I am going to make a prediction, and I'm going to go for 2-0. There you go.
To us, presumably.
Surprise!
We
Yeah.
conceded 2 goals a game every game, so
I know.
it fits, right? We get our first clean sheet and Barry's first home win at Ibrox.
Absolutely. Yeah, 2-0 for me.
You're right. Nice. Davie, for you?
Score prediction. 3-2. Same as last time. I can't see, unfortunately, I can't see them not scoring. It's just recent history tells you everybody scores, so why would they not? But I've got a little fancy that we want it a wee bit more than they do on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately going to be right. They'll want to win for pride, but their season's done. Our season's done as well, but we at least have something to play for, and it's a big game. We should get up for it. Kenny, finally going to come to you. I know that you were talking about this before we came on air. Barry saying he was happy with the talks with Farewell. We could overread massively into it, so let's do that. And then I want a score prediction from you as well.
Score prediction, I'll go 2-1. Yeah, and I did make a point of putting this on the chat, didn't I, about that. His face lit up, and he seemed really excited about what the boy Farewell had to say. What that means, I don't quite know, but it was very interesting because you don't see, particularly in press conferences, you don't see Barry kind of buzzing and smiling like that very often, do you? You really don't. So interesting to see the way his eyes just lit up. So that was interesting. And if I was going to say 3-2, but Davie stole my thunder. And then I thought 4-3, and I thought that's just ridiculous. Aye, so I'll go 2-1. And I'm looking forward to it, oddly. I think it's the kind of, for all of what I've just said in my last answer, I think it is the kind of final throws for a few of these players, and I think a lot of them know it. So I'm expecting them to go all out and try and get a very positive result for themselves more than anything else, but for us, clearly. And for the 49ers, I'll say this, that one of my mates was in Ibrox on Thursday, and he was saying that he was talking to somebody in there about the tour they had and stuff like that, and they were very, very impressed, but couldn't believe how old the place was, is kind of what they were saying, and how grand it was and stuff like that. And they really were very taken by the old place. So that's nice, because, as I said, they'll get a feel for it once they go in to Ibrox. Everybody knows when you go in those doors, it's just a wonderful, wonderful place to walk through, and you're in awe of it, you know. And it's not just as a fan. I think anybody walking into that particular building would just go, "Wow, look at this." And the thing that I would say is that they haven't seen it yet. As Davie says, if we go and put them to the sword on Sunday, they will be, what on earth is going on in here? So looking forward to it, mate, and hopefully we get a result. That's what I would say. And I messaged you a minute ago. Did you get it?
You messaged me? What are you messaging? What? I'm going to read this out live on air, Kenny, so it better be good. Take some questions. Yeah, no, I actually, that did occur to me, actually, Kenny, and in fact, I did do it. But thank you for reminding me, though. First time I've ever done a live podcast, so, you know, well, I might as well. Folks, as ever, it is a pleasure to be here with you guys. Doing this live, 1,370 year watching, which you're giving up your Friday evenings to this, so can't thank you enough for that. We appreciate you guys immensely. Scrolling along the bottom of the screen are some of the higher tier members. They are helping us grow massively, and we are going from strength to strength, and it's fantastic for us to see that. every time we check out the subscription numbers, the membership numbers, the amount of views that the videos are getting, we're always staggered. And we cannot thank you guys enough. I'm saying 4-2 to Rangers. I think it's a big game. These players will get up for it. We'll have to concede 2 goals, but I think we can score as well, especially if we finally decide to start maybe our better striker for a change instead. We'll see. Could go either way. Folks, as ever, thank you so much. We appreciate you tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until we talk to you again, folks, goodbye for now. The Four Lads podcast is sponsored by Rhino Express, Clydeview Joinery, Athol Industrial Solutions Limited, and CSD Air Conditioning, in partnership with Black Rooster and Art of Gold. Thank you for listening to or watching the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show.